All right. So good evening, everyone. Thank you to those of you who would have been here waiting. And to those of you who were not able to check out yesterday's installment of the public forum, where we heard from our candidates for the various faculty representative positions, please allow me to reintroduce myself as Tyler Alexander, returning officer at the UWI St. Augustine Guild of Students. As you all know, we are now 2 minutes away from our Guild Council elections, 2 days away, my bad, scheduled for Thursday, the 24th of March, 2022. The public forum is an event traditionally associated with the election where candidates are given the opportunity to address the electorate directly, to respond to questions, and to present a cohesive outline of their plans should they be elected. Just like last year, we've adapted the forum to a 3-day series where on the first day, candidates running for faculty representative positions are given a chance to address the electorate. On the second day, candidates running for committee chairperson positions are given a chance to address the electorate. And on the third, candidates running for positions on the Guild executive are given a chance to address the electorate directly. So tonight, we'll be hearing from our candidates for the various committee chairperson positions. Throughout my tenure on the Guild Council, I've heard some people refer to our committee chairpersons as the invisible engine behind the Guild of Students. And I'd say that view holds some merit. From our publications to our stance on national and international issues to major sociocultural and religious events, committee chairpersons are responsible for leading small teams that definitely make a huge impact on our university experience and on our functioning as a Guild of Students. Tonight, I'm pleased to say that we have a great lineup of candidates who are eager to address the electorate and ready and willing to take on service. So without further ado, we're going to open tonight's substantive presentations tonight's substantive proceedings with a presentation of our candidates. And do take note that the order in which candidates appear on the following reel is the same order that they'll appear in throughout the proceedings tonight. So please show some support in the chat if you're tuned in. For both of you who are live and those tuned into the recording, please welcome this presentation of our candidates for the committee chairperson positions for the 2022 Guild Council election. And there we have it. Please show some support in the chat once again for our candidates for the committee chairperson positions in 2022. And tonight we certainly have a great lineup of candidates who are eager to address the electorate and hear your concerns and respond to your questions. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce you to the moderator of tonight's proceedings, Ms. Cheyenne St. Hilaire. Cheyenne has spent a year serving on the Guild Council in the capacity of Faculty of Humanities and Education representative. She represented the university at last year's edition of the UNESCO Youth Forum. She's been directly involved in many activities over the past year, from the distribution of hampers to the organization of scholarships for FHE members, which, might I add, Applications are still open for until April the 18th. So if you haven't got your application in, be sure to check that out. So please show some support for Miss Cheyenne St. Hilaire. Cheyenne, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks so much, Tyler, for that. I really appreciate that scholarship plug. It's much needed. So,
Definitely.
you all are free to contact me for any links for the applications. I'm doing okay. I'm quite excited for the candidates. That slideshow presentation was absolutely amazing. It blew me away, and I hope that the candidates can do so as well.
All right, well, we're over to you fully. I'll be tuning out from here.
Okay, so hi again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm seeing a couple comments. It's really great to be here, and I hope that you all are ready for this lineup and that you exercise your right to vote this coming Thursday. So, I will be doing a brief overview of the Games Committee chairperson. So, the Games Committee chairperson is primarily responsible for promoting and developing sports within the university, as well as the sporting relations of the university with the wider society. On campus, we know that whenever there's a meeting for a sport games or club, we can expect to see the Games Committee chair there, and this is no accident. The Games Committee chair is ex officio, a member of all recognized sports and games clubs and societies, and ensures that they have adequate funding, equipment, and other necessary materials. I am certainly eager to hear what all candidates for the position of Games Committee Chairperson has to say this evening. So let us please welcome Mr. Michael Alexander Ramkisoon to the floor.
Hi, thank you, Miss Moderator. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mikhail Alexander Ramkisoon, but everyone just calls me Alex. And before I go into this, I'll just give a brief overview on my experience serving in the Guild. For the 2021-2022 academic year, I served as the Deputy Chairman of the Games Committee under Ms. Bernard Antoine. And over that period of time, I would like to say she's become a role model and a good friend to me. And I would like to say that my I've gained a lot of experience and skills holding this position, and I think I'm very confident in my abilities to take over the position of chair. So without further ado, I would like to go into my initiatives. So firstly, over the last 2 years, a lot of the events we had physically were postponed indefinitely due to the pandemic. And with hopes that campus is reopening next semester, I plan to bring back many of the previous events, such as GWA Day, UE Sports Day, UE Games, and the 5K Marathon. And I know many of you might not know what is GWA Day. GWA Day is a football tournament normally held in the first semester. And it's just a friendly tournament between you and your friends. It could get very heated, very competitive, and that's what I like to see there. Then I want to talk a bit about UE Sports Day. I plan to have it much more casual, just about having fun, building the camaraderie between you and your faculty members. And we could go into UE Games. UE Games is basically the UE Olympics between us and our sister campuses. And this would lead into my second initiative, which is the revitalization of many of the clubs that were put in obscurity due to the pandemic, such as the martial arts club, the swimming club, and to my knowledge, the football club. I plan to give my whole heart in promoting and assisting these clubs in any way I can. I also plan to introduce the UE Dragon Boat team as well as a UE archery club to give the students much more variety to help promote a more holistic development while staying at UE. And finally, I would like to bring in the introduction of varsity style jackets. So these jackets are very customizable, very high quality jackets. They prove to be an alternative to what's already there on the merch for the UE merch. And this for all clubs and sports teams. But I also plan to have talks with the faculty reps to make this a campus wide initiative so everybody could have a piece of the UE stamps, as I like to call it. And I don't have anything else planned currently, but I'm very much open to anyone. If you feel that you would like a club or a certain sports team, please talk to me. I'm very open, I'm very friendly, and very approachable.
Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much.
That was very enjoyable. I particularly like that entire Dragon Boat initiative. I've been seeing that has been gaining a lot of popularity recently, and also the varsity jackets. I hope that you do get to liaise with the faculty reps and that they agree with you and all of that. So I think that's something that we can all look forward to in the coming semester. Personally, I've never been on campus, so I'm really excited to see that. And I hope that all my friends who have not been wanting to teach me all fours would finally suck it up and teach me how to play. And I hope that's something that could be arranged in the future. So I just have questions for you. So do you think that a lot of the anxiety and depression we suffer nowadays is due to the loss of outdoor activity caused by the pandemic? If you assume office, how will you work to overcome this?
Well, I do believe that it does affect our mental health and it affects it negatively being indoors all the time. So there's some people that are introverts and prefer being indoors doesn't affect them. But I believe the vast majority of people would rather be outside in the fresh air, basically. And I plan to have a lot of events, basically just allowing for us to have build the camaraderie, have fun, get to meet people. A lot of people don't know each other. I haven't met almost any of my friends so far in my time in UB. So I want to build these events so everyone can have fun and meet new people.
That's absolutely amazing. I see we have a comment from Mary Rochelle. What are you most excited about should you assume office?
Should I assume offense? I am very excited about bringing back Guade. We was planning to do that in 2021, but we finally get to bring it back, especially that is the 60th anniversary of the guild. This is a very momentous occasion.
Thank you so much. I really like that excitement. I'm seeing a lot of people. You have plenty supporters here, and a lot of people are very excited about Dragon Boat racing as well. Lots of people love that too. But on the more serious side of things, I noticed that you said you worked alongside Bernard, who's absolutely so hardworking. And I just want to ask, what inspired you to run for election?
Well, I love to serve. I love being part of the team. The team dynamic I had with Bernadette, as well as the other members of the games committee, is probably the highlight of my time in UE. And I just want to continue that and basically just give it my all. And I see an opportunity to give it my all for the benefit of everyone else. I would just love that opportunity.
That's absolutely awesome. And I see we have a comment from our current guild vice president, Mr. Malchan. If we are to stay in the virtual world in the next semester, what are some of your plans if that occurs?
Well, I was also thinking that we have, since I would believe that a lot of students who are regionally right now might not be able to come back to on campus immediately. I was already planning some online initiatives. I think if we are online next semester, that those initiatives would take hold in hope that in second semester we could have some physical events. So I'll still be planning for hopefully we don't have it on if we have online next semester, hopefully for second semester again I'll be hoping to have some initiatives there.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any further questions? If not, I would just like to ask one more. Would you say it's kind of in line with Mr. Malchance? Would you say that your plans for office can accommodate the sudden shifts we've become used to in everyday life? Because there's a lot of fluidity associated with the pandemic, right? So, with respect to sudden lockdowns or changes in the rules for gatherings, do you have plans to accommodate for that fluidity?
Well, due to me being completely online during my tenure as deputy, I have gained a lot of experience in hosting the online events. So I would more than likely have a lot of these events just we planned last year that was unable to occur with the new experience I've gained to try to repropose them.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mikhail. Sorry, we really
Just Alex.
genuinely do appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing more from you. So, moving right along to the International Affairs Committee chairperson, I will be providing a brief overview of that as well. So, we'll be hearing from our candidates running for this position. So, the International Affairs Committee chairperson is responsible for representing the interests of the Guild on all relevant international issues and at all relevant international fora, organizing at least one annual symposium on a current international issue, and acting as a liaison officer between the Guild of Students and the University of the West Indies on all international issues. Another, and perhaps among the most important roles of the IACC in recent times, however, has also been ensuring adequate representation within the Guild Council for international students who have faced many unique hardships as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm sure we're all aware of those. So, with this preliminary note aside, let us welcome our first candidate for the position of International Affairs Committee Chairperson to the floor. Please show some support for Ms. Shania Acker.
Hi, good night. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. Good
Okay,
night.
good. I was worried because I'm a bit sick.
Aw, sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go ahead and start. Good night, everyone. Thank you all for allowing me to be here today to speak on my missions and objectives for the International Affairs Committee chairperson position. I know most of you are asking, who is Shania Acker? Well, I'm Shania Acker, and I am a second year student at the University of the West Indies. I am currently pursuing my management studies degree with a minor in marketing. I love to read, I love to play video games, and I just have a long list of different hobbies. But I am also very prominent in student life and being helpful to students. In year one of UE, I had the honor of being on the staff student liaison committee, and that is what really sparked my interest in helping UE students as a whole, and that is what has brought me here today on this venture on aiming to be the International Affairs Committee chairperson. Next slide, please. So, throughout my tenure as International Affairs Committee chairperson, there are three main missions that I would love to achieve, as well as three guarantees. So, the first mission revolves around UE life and community. So, I have been in UE for 2 years now, and I have only known UE virtually. And just like most students, we haven't gotten the holistic experience of being in university physically. I remember visiting my friends before I was a student and seeing how lively the campus was, the mix of different cultures and events and all the excitement when it's time for UE Fest, but I never got to experience that. So I would love to use my passions for event planning to make this a reality for students, especially international students, because even if we do end up going back out to school physically in September, we can still host virtual events. There's a range of different platforms that enable us to do that now, and that we can accommodate everyone, especially international students who are often overlooked. The second thing I would love to address is student concerns. I have been in talks with a lot of international students who brought forward their concerns with UE mentioning the opening of schools in September. A lot of them are worried if they are not able to reach back in Trinidad in time. Some of them are worried about stuff that happened as soon as the pandemic started, which I wasn't aware of. A lot of them had to leave their belongings behind to get back to their home countries and stuff like that. And I do think we have the capacity as a community to really come together and help these individuals because they don't have access to a lot of the support that they really do need. And this is why the majority of my campaign, it revolves around unity in the face of diversity, because oftentimes we think that our differences should separate us when in reality it is a tool to bring us together. The next point would be the effectiveness of the community. I am a strong advocate in that the strength of the leader of a team is really shown through the team itself. I can only be as strong as my team, and a team is something that works together. So if my team is not strong, then how can I be strong? And if I am not strong, how can my team be strong? So, in this vein, I will put things in place for us to have different bonding activities where we can actually work in unison as a committee to fulfill our goals and responsibilities. And the main guarantees I wish to portray to students are an open door policy, reliability, and understanding. Next slide, please. So, with that being said, I would like to conclude and remind you to vote for me, Shania Acker, a leader committed to hearing the concerns and mandates of students and representing them with care, understanding, and a strong backbone. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, and I really loved your presentation, and I love that quote about the strength in the leader. I think your strength really shows because you showed up here and you are sick, so that's absolutely admirable. So we
Thank
have a
you.
question: what are your largest concerns right now in terms of current international affairs?
Well, as we all know, the with globalization, anything that happens around the world impacts each other. So it would impact Trinidad as well. So anything that is happening around the world, whether it be the global pandemic or a war, anything like that, it would impact Trinidad. And I believe that my strong backbone enables me to stand under pressure and support the international students no matter what problem is thrown our way. And I also have faith in the committee that will be under me, that they will provide an extra layer of strength, and together we can overcome any of the different international issues, whether it be the ones we are currently facing or any ones that may happen in the future.
Thank you so much. And we have a question from Jeremiah. I believe that this would be the last question. If this semester continues to be online like this academic year, what are your plans to represent regional students who are required to do labs in faculties such as FST and engineering?
So this was one of the issues raised by regional and international students because they are not able to be there physically for labs and stuff. We will obviously continue to allow the virtual side of things because we do understand that everyone has the ability or the funds to come back to Trinidad and stay, especially with how uncertain things are right now. So we that option will still be on the table, and even and it will continue to be like that. We will also try our best to put things in place where, in the event where students can come to Trinidad, we can accommodate them and give them access to the necessary resources to make the process to come into Trinidad and settling a very smooth one.
Okay, thank you so much, Shania. It was a pleasure having you. And once again, I do hope that you feel better.
Thank
Everyone
you
show
very
some
much.
love for Shania in the comments. I'm seeing that you also have a lot of supporters. I'm glad that you have that.
Yes, thank
Thanks
you.
so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. And up next, we have our second International Affairs Committee chairperson candidate, Miss Maria Vasquez. I'd like you guys to welcome her.
Hi,
Hi.
so I'll just get right into this. Good afternoon to the returning officer, Tyler Alexander, to the moderator, Ms. Cheyenne St. Hilary, to my colleagues here tonight, and to the live audience spectating at home. My name is Maria Vasquez. I'm contesting for the position of International Affairs Committee Chairperson. I'm currently reading for a BSc in International Relations Special with a minor in Social Development Policy and Planning. It is through my degree that I have found my desire to lead this committee in order to bring awareness to various international and student issues. It is my hope that I would be able to bring to light more productive ways of managing students' issues as well as stimulating various influential movements through the scope of activism. It is my intention to foster multilateral cooperation among and within different faculties and societies, clubs, and organizations in order to holistically enhance communicative and vocational capabilities. How shall I do this? Firstly, promoting proficient leadership. As a leader, I pride myself on being approachable and communicable. My desire is to forge an unbreakable camaraderie with my committee members. It is my belief that this will aid us in undertaking a myriad of difficult issues as well as working collaboratively to find effective conflict resolution. Apart from this, I would like to establish a constant flow of communication between my committee, students of the University of the West Indies, other Guild campus committees, and student unions. This shall foster the growth of new ideas as well as evolve their perception of international issues. Thus, holistically developing those in contact with my committee as well as positively influencing the experience of students not only regionally but internationally. This shall be accomplished through proper delegation of tasks, which will be performed by creating temporary committees for each initiative. Therefore, each initiative would be given sufficient attention with individuals dedicated to its success. This will allow students to network, advertise their skills and talents, as well as develop through the different experiences they have working on the initiative. Secondly, fostering innovation. As your ISC, I intend to orchestrate a fellowship which will edify students on the topics of leadership and innovation and xenophobia. The reason I chose this topic of leadership and innovation is to encourage the next generation of leaders to not only acknowledge but treat the issues that exist within various areas of the world, such as education. I chose the topic of xenophobia because it is a pervasive issue that permeates the society in which we live in. One of my committee's roles would be to host an annual symposium. This year, I would like to evaluate, of course, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This symposium will be held over a duration of 2 days. The first day, allowing lecturers to discuss topic-specific issues involving the incident. The second day will feature a student-led discussion which will be done through a collaboration of the UESCA clubs and societies, thus allowing students to be given insight by professionals of the field in order to enhance their perspectives as well as permit students to voice their unique opinions on the matter. And lastly, encouraging integration. As your IAC, I understand the complex and integral role in which integration plays in developing our society. That is why I intend to organize a tour for any international exchange students to experience small island life from an economic, historical, and cultural perspective. This will be done through the Small Island Tour series, which will have students visit the various high streets that exist in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as visit heritage sites and various national attractions, in order to provide them with an immersive experience. Apart from this, I would also like to introduce the student exchange buddy system. Buddies will undergo training through seminars that will explain their roles and how it will be done. This will not only benefit the exchange students by helping them to navigate through the registration process and so on, it will also give our students who don't have time to participate in clubs and societies a chance to earn some volunteer hours. Students signed up to volunteer for programs will also be documented, and if assistance is required from volunteers again, emails will be personally sent out to inform them. I would now like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for listening, and I will be accepting any questions you have now. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Maria. I also enjoyed your presentation. It was quite coherent and well written. Let me just check to see if we have any questions before I ask. Okay, well, I will ask a question. When people from the Caribbean speak up on international affairs, they're often told that it isn't their place or their business. Why do you think that it's important to follow and to speak up on international affairs, even as a small island nation?
I think it's important because it does affect us. At the end of the day, as a small island nation, we are a third world country. We depend on what occurs, we are affected by what the first worlds are doing. And I think it's important for us to talk about it because I don't think it matters where you come from to have a good idea, something innovative to really fix the situation. I don't think that we should we should consider just as a small island nation that they don't have as much experience. I think we have sufficient experience to probably assist with issues.
Thank you very much, Maria. I appreciate it. And one last question. What, oh, sorry. How do you plan to balance your personal, academic, and guild obligations should you be elected?
I am a stickler for organization. I plan everything down to the minute and I always have backup plans. There's never a time I don't have a good contingency plan, and that probably sounds a little prideful, but after having to manage being the president of a society, which is in no way comparative to this, but it is still a very intense role. I think I've practiced my routine well enough that I know I can manage both.
Oh, thank you very, very much. And with that, that's the end of our question and answer segment. I'm also seeing that you have a good bit of supporters in the chat. I just must say, I love how supportive of everybody that everyone is. So thanks again, Maria. Good luck.
Thank
And
you.
we'll move along to the other position. So we will be going right along to the National Affairs Committee chairperson. So we'll be hearing from our candidates to this end. A little bit about the NACC. They are responsible for representing the interests of the Guild of Students at all relevant national fora and for ensuring the coordination of activities of all the recognized social, cultural, religious, and political clubs or societies of the Guild. We know as a body of students, national affairs can often impact us directly. While policy discussions are strictly theoretical for many, the most minor change to a government policy or program, such as GATE, can render some of us totally unable to access education. And we've seen that within the last year. With that aside, I'm sure we are all very excited to hear from our candidates for the position of National Affairs Committee chairperson. So tonight, please welcome to the floor Mr. Inul Nabi.
Good night, my UE family. My name is Ainul Nabi, and I am your candidate for Guild National Affairs Committee chairperson. I am a student of the Faculty of Law who has always been passionate about community development, youth development, cultural development, national development, and most importantly, student development. I have been championing for you through my involvement within various guild subcommittees on the executive board of various clubs, societies, and organizations on campus. And I've also served as your guild student senate chairperson. So, somebody was asking me yesterday actually, why should I vote for Ainul? And my answer was simple. A vote for Ainul is a vote for vibes. Hear 'em out. V. Vibrance in cultural awareness and integration. The UE St. Augustine community is blessed with diversity, cultural awareness, but more so cultural integration is crucial. We must appreciate and celebrate each other's cultures. We can and we will do this. The National Affairs Committee, under my leadership, will host regular small events aimed at celebrating cultural diversity on campus. Support will be given to all cultural and religious groups on campus. In addition to this, a cultural explosion concert will be hosted by the National Affairs Committee. I, igniting youth development. The National Affairs Committee, under my leadership, will place special focus on youth development. This will be done by engaging the public and the private sectors to provide employment opportunities for our students. We will encourage entrepreneurship by hosting various training workshops whilst promoting our own entrepreneurs on campus. This committee will actively celebrate young excellence within our UE community. There are so many brilliant young people within our UE community who are doing phenomenal things regionally, internationally, and of course, nationally. And we are going to celebrate them. B, building and fostering community engagement. The outreach committee of the NEC will be reignited once more. The aim of this special committee will be to foster and build community development. This committee will engage the public through activism efforts, community development initiatives, and welfare projects. E, educational engagement. Trinidad and Tobago is pregnant with cultural, historical, and natural sites, as my colleague said. Educational trips to various parts of the country will be hosted, adhering to COVID protocols, of course. In addition to this, I Know Your Region short series will be hosted in collaboration with the International Affairs Committee. Furthermore, the NAC will actively inform and spark discussions of various contemporary issues affecting our nation and region through debates and using our various social media platforms. S, student support and services. You are important. The NAC will support you. We are in unprecedented times, my UE brothers and sisters. We all know this. It is a time of great financial burden and emotional burden. The NAC will partner with the private sector and through using funds allocated to our committee, set up an additional bursary. And kudos to the Faculty of Education and Humanities representative who's doing that at the moment. A Project Smile initiative will be undertaken to ensure all students have access to basic sustenance and school supplies. I intend to put mental health on the front burner and work alongside societies off and on campus with a focus on mental health to host various initiatives and safe spaces to help you cope. Remember, brothers and sisters, we are all in this together. On Thursday, the 24th of March, Rally with Nabi. Remember, only together we can make this happen. I thank you. Join me on this journey of vibes. Place your vote of confidence in Ainul Nabi to be your next Guild National Affairs Committee chairperson. I thank you.
Thanks very much, I know. I appreciated that presentation. Thank you very much for the shout out about the scholarship initiative. I really appreciate that. I also see that you have a lot of supporters, having hosted the speech games last week where I saw how much Law writes for each other. I really love to see it. So let me just check to see if there are any questions before I ask mine. All right, I'm not seeing any questions from anybody in the chat, so I will ask. How do you feel about students returning to school? What position would you take up provided that current circumstances remain the same if you were elected as NECC?
I am excited to return on campus. Listen, it's a different atmosphere, and my campaign is based in celebrating the diversity on campus, cultural diversity, national diversity. But we need to understand, we need to face reality. We are in unprecedented times. And if, God forbid, we can't return on campus, we need to host other initiatives. We need to use those same initiatives that I stated and really, convert them into an online effort. And listen, it's realistic initiatives. The initiatives that I, presented tonight, it can work on campus and off campus. We do not need to be physically on campus to celebrate each other's cultures. We don't. Right? So whether we are on campus or off campus, we celebrate each other and we move forward with vibes.
Thank you very much. I see a lot of persons are saying well said, and I genuinely do have to agree. I must say that I appreciate that planning that went into that accommodation for either physical or online environments. So I just want to thank you for that. How has your experience been campaigning thus far?
It has been phenomenal. Campaigning, listen, I have always maintained it's not about a position for me. It's never about a position. I wish my colleague all the best. If she is elected, I will work along with my colleague because we are all in this together, right? We are UE students. We have the same struggles. Listen, we have the same struggles. So, and only together we can make this happen.
Thank you so much. I am so sorry, but unfortunately, that is it for our question segment. You did a fantastic job answering, I must say. And we always love to see that enthusiasm. And let's hope that if you are elected, it spills over until the next
Yeah.
year. So thank you very, very much. And I hope you have an enjoyable rest of night.
Good night.
So let's welcome our second candidate, Miss Kiara Lewis.
Hi, good night. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine. Hi, good night.
Hi, good night. Okay, so good night, everyone. My name is Kiara Lewis, and I'm currently a Year 2 BSN nursing student. A few things about me are I enjoy fostering, rehoming animals, and volunteering my services to various charitable and cultural organizations, such as the Wildflower Trust and Homes for the Disenfranchised Members of Society. I am currently a registered member of the Scouting Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. So naturally, I am involved in a lot of outreach programs, sociable programs where you interact with persons with different culture and religious backgrounds with different customs. It has also fostered le- of a strong sense of lending assistance to those in need. Because in scouting culture, you don't leave, you see somebody in need, you help them. No matter if you have $1, you give them 50 cents. That's how it is in scouting, and that's how I am too. I have been doing this for 5+ years now, and I believe it's time for me to share this passion, knowledge, and experience with all of you. As a fellow student myself, I strongly believe that we should not only have a say in the conduction and operation of the activities that affects us, but our voices should be echoed in the ears of policymakers. You hear that, Yui? Poli- that Phoebe. Not it. However, it must not. However, this must be done with someone with strong communication, social, and negotiation skills which I all possess. I intend to fully utilize the skills that I promote, foster, develop cultures, educational, and social links between the Guild and wider national community. And I represent and negotiate students' interests on and off campus as well. Due to the combination of experience and skills, I firmly believe that I am the most suitable candidate for the position of National Affairs Community Chairperson. If elected, I would increase and build social awareness culturally, religiously, politically, and socially. Right? I would highlight existing outreach program. The reason I said this is because it doesn't make sense you're having programs and nobody knows about the programs. Nobody knows that an event happened and you find out about it months later or days later. And furthermore, I aim to increase the number and size of outreach programs and will place a high value on the voice of general student body. Additionally, I would take into consideration the ideas and advice given by students when updating old programs and formulating new ones to meet the current and future needs of students. An example of formulating new programs would be creating an opportunity for fellow students to volunteer and undergo internship programs for 1 year, which can be counted towards their 1 year work experience or as a volunteering activity on their resume. In conclusion, I would like to thank everyone for their attentiveness given in my deliverance of speech. Have a good night. If you have any questions, I am free and available to answer it.
Thank you so much, Kiara. So, my first question to you is: do you think that the recent changes to scholarship arrangements after sixth form have been disadvantageous to students? What would
Can
you
you
change? Oh,
can you repeat it,
yes,
please?
sure, no problem. Do you think you're hearing me clearly now, right?
Yeah, my wife.
Okay,
I was
great.
just dipping.
Okay, understood. Do you think that the recent changes to scholarship arrangements after sixth form have been disadvantageous to students? What would you change or suggest to address the situation if so?
It is a disadvantageous because not everybody has the funds to do certain degrees. Not everybody not every family has the resources to send them quite to UWI St. Augustine to get an education, you know. Some family resources, it's the study, instead of sending the child to school, come and work and help with the family household and stuff like that. So it is disadvantage because you are depriving a student of a greater chance of future and being a more contributing member of society, you know. So it is disadvantage, and I would have more scholarships, easy scholarship. You know, some scholarship you have to do, you jump through hoops to get it. No, very simple entry-based scholarship. If you do the minimum, you can get through. And also I want to have scholarships for non-academic stuff. Some people are not academic gifted, you know. So more scholarship options.
Thank you very, very much. And last question. It comes from Jeremiah, who asked it a while ago. So, how does the NACC intend to work with all the other faculties?
Now, this is our best question here because I really want to answer this question. Okay, so how does NACC can operate with all the other faculties? That's it. If the faculty doesn't cooperate with NSC and NSC don't cooperate with faculty, the students are going to suffer as a result, and that's a no-no. So, in order to have programs, different faculties need to have different programs because not one program can fit all faculties. So, different faculties have different programs. Yes, one and two programs may fit several faculties, but not the case for all of them. So, I think constant communication and transparency with the GIL, with NSCC, the faculty heads, and the students is very important because sometimes you're out of the loop and you just like boom, something happened and you have no say in it as a student, and it's quite unfair. So communication, you know, constant communication, constant.
Thank you so very much for your answer to that question. I absolutely love your enthusiasm, and I hope that everything has been okay with you so far. Let me just read the comments. Again, I must comment on the amount of supporters that you have so far. Lots of persons are in agreement with what you said. So thank you very much, Kiara. That would be it for the question and answer segment. I hope you have
Bye.
a great night.
Thank you.
Bye. No problem. Okay, so next up, we have a candidate for the position of Publications Committee Chairperson. And just a brief overview, as I've been doing for the last couple of positions. The Publications Committee Chairperson is responsible for the production and publication of the official organ of the Guild at least 3 times per semester, and for the production of other newspapers, books, magazines, articles, etc., as the Guild Council shall desire to publish. In recent years, the role of the PCC has also evolved, and there is a much greater involvement in the digital space as well. We are currently very, very excited to have a candidate for the position of PCC with us tonight. Please show some support for Mr. Shauna Glasgow in the chat as we welcome her to the floor.
Hi, good night. Everyone hearing me? Sorry, I was getting a bit difficult.
Hi, good night. Yeah, we can hear and see you fine.
Okay. So good night, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great tonight. Thank you all for coming out here on this terrific Tuesday to support all of the candidates and your future Guild Committee chairs. My name is Tashana Glasgow, and I am a proud student of the Faculty of Social Sciences, currently pursuing my bachelor's in management studies with minors in marketing and communication studies, aka my babies. But before I was a business head, I was actually a humanities student. I studied Spanish, French, and literature all the way up to Form 6. And there is where I found my passion for all things language and communications. I grew passionate about film, the written word, media prints, and so much more. And now I hope to take that passion and turn it into value for you. So I believe it will make everyone here feel comfortable to know that I am an experienced leader and creative contributor. In secondary school, I was the captain of my girls' junior football team, secretary of the language club, and the valedictorian. I am also currently the newsletter co-editor for the Association of Debating and Public Speaking, and recently wrapped up an internship with an online magazine that centered around highlighting the achievements and giving a voice to young Caribbeans. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I hope to deliver to you. During the pandemic, I couldn't help but notice a disconnect between the guild and the students, namely the creative students. I hope to bridge this gap by creating and reinforcing programs through which we can elevate the authentic voice and innovative ideas of the students here at St. Augustine campus. With this, I propose to partner with the DSSD to administer more creative skills programs, such as workshops in graphic design, photography, journalism, media training, and much more. I also hope to partner with the Writing Center to administer a self-publishing seminar to aid budding writers to publish their work. I aspire to aid aspiring journalists and media personnel in securing internships with our local newspapers and media outlets. And most importantly, I aim to give a voice to all UWI students through the creation of the UWI Tribune, a school newspaper by students for students. With this, I would also like to increase our social media engagement to help shift the narrative of the Guild back to one where students feel not only seen, but heard by the Guild, and where the Guild representatives also reach out for the innovative ideas from the students to incorporate into all of our plans. To conclude, I would like to highlight the quote that was on my introductory slide by Robert T. Kiyosaki that says, "Often in the real world, it is not the smart, but the bold that gets ahead." This year, I have made the very bold decision to come out from being a bystander, come out of my very introverted state, and run for this position in an attempt to become an activator for change, to empower students, to empower all of the beautiful creatives and writers and students that I see out there that have so much potential but are not producing anything, and mostly because they don't have the opportunity and the avenues to produce. So now that I have taken this bold attempt, I now call on you, students, creatives, to curate your own experience. Speak up, create, innovate, and help me to facilitate you on this journey. A vote for me is a vote for your voice. On March 24th, vote TG for PCC.
Thank you very, very much. I must say you spoke like a true FHE student. Makes me wonder why your major is in social sciences, but I'm glad I have a bias towards communication. So it's lovely to have you, I must say. So I noticed you were talking about bridging the gap and all of that, but I'll get back to that after. So we have a question here. Are you concerned about how much work it might be to keep everything published in the digital and physical spheres?
Well, as we're going back out, well, we're not sure yet, as we may be going back out for this upcoming academic year, we have to consider that we have to always consider that we have to keep in line with the UWI mandates, and I doubt we'll be going back out to physical releases. Not everything will be. And we're in the digital era regardless. To have newspapers and magazines on your phone or on your tablet or on your laptop, I believe would be the more convenient option. However, the physical will be there as long as we have finances for it.
I appreciate that answer very much. So like I said, I noticed you talking about bridging the gap between the guild and students and hearing the voices, which has been difficult during this online time. Not gonna lie, I live it. But I have a question again for you. If you could change one thing about the Guild of Students, what would it be and why?
One thing I say I would change about the Guild of Students is I see us interacting on social media. However, I don't see students interacting with us. And that's why I feel like there is a disconnect. Like we need to engage students more to know what they want, what they find interesting, and have more public forums, more general, well, and we can't have more general meetings, but more avenues for students to put in their 2 cents so they can feel like they're properly engaged.
Thank you very, very much. Lovely answer. And that's it for the question and answer segment. You handled it like a pro. Like I said, always bias for the FHE. And I wish you all the best on Thursday. What was your slogan? Vote
A vote
PC
for
for
me is a
TV.
vote for your
Mhm.
voice. Yes, the
Yes.
vote TG
Vote
for
for
PCC.
PCC. Okay, right. And that's it. Thank you so, so, so much. And last on our agenda tonight, but certainly not least, is our candidate for the position of Student Activity Committee Chairperson. The SACC is responsible for ensuring the safety and security of all guild property and taking steps to ensure that such property is secured and maintained in accordance with the university's rules and regulations. The more commonly known function of the SACC, however, is coordinating all the recognized social, cultural, and religious activities of the guild. We know it has been a difficult time in terms of connectivity due to the circumstances caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm sure everyone is as excited as I am to hear what our candidate, Ms. Sharifa Mohammed, has to say. So please welcome Ms. Mohammed to the floor, everyone.
Thank you very much. Pleasant good night, everyone. I, Sharifa Mohammed, am currently pursuing my Bachelor of Education in Primary General at the University of the West Indies. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to be studying at UWI. I am presently a candidate for the position of Student Activity Committee Chairperson. I believe that I can bring a sense of togetherness and positivity to the university and, in extension, the wider society. Over the past 2 years, many students have been faced with additional pressures due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, and I strongly believe that I possess the necessary abilities to navigate students through these challenging times. The activities I propose can be accommodated virtually as well as in person. As a candidate, I firmly believe that dialogue and consultation with the student body as well as with the non-student body is the key element in achieving harmony, production, and progression. If elected, I will work alongside members of the student body, the representatives of various faculties, committee members, stakeholders, and the wider community in coming together to formulate ideas and strategies for the best interest of everyone. In addition, in addition, I will highlight some of the initiatives I wish to fulfill upon being elected. If I am elected as Student Activity Committee Chairperson, students will be able to participate in movie night, where a movie can be selected after consultation with fellow students. This movie can be selected due to its educational nature, entertainment value, or simply to enhance the lives of students by providing a sense of calmness and relaxation. This can give students a much needed break from the daily routine of their lives. On the topic of national festivals, there can be a focus on religious festivals such as Diwali, Eid, and Christmas celebrations. This will serve to enrich the lives of the students and to educate people on the diversity of our multicultural nation in the beautiful twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. The religious programs can be promoted to facilitate these festivals, which can showcase the diverse cultural traditions within Trinidad and Tobago. There can also be a carnival display whereby incorporating the making of mast and steel pan, in addition to chutney and soca performances of the student body that can be exhibited. This can bring about learning about different cultures and traditions, in addition to bringing about a sense of social unity. In these challenging times, I propose to have a small agricultural exhibition where the students will be encouraged to plant local crops that they can exhibit, whereby creating awareness and further discussions locally about domestic food production. There will also be a health fair where volunteers from the health sector and counselors can offer their services to the student body. This can be beneficial as it paves the way forward for a healthy mindset, strong physical, emotional, and intellectual overall well being of students. Taking care of our health is beneficial as it promotes a relaxed mind through a positive and healthy atmosphere fit for everyday life. I pledge that I will act with transparency and carry out my duties with due diligence. I will strive to enrich the lives of students through well planned activities. I will adhere to the Constitution as well as hold consultations with all concerned parties for the best interests of all students and, in extension, the wider society. I will be honored to mention the words of my late father: giving up is never an option. You get back up and keep on going. On that note, I would like to say, I am here. I am determined. I am committed to serve you. Vote for me, Ms. Sharifa Mohammed, for your candidate as Student Activity Committee Chairperson. Thank you sincerely and have a pleasant good night, everyone. I'm free and open to any questions as well.
Thank you very much, Sharifa. And of course, I must mention another FHE student. So this is making me very excited right now. I will just address a question from Mary Rochelle. Well spoken. What are you most excited about should you be elected?
Well, if I'm selected, I would like to interact and collaborate with other stakeholders, the group, other faculties, and the student body. I would like to, I'm interested to hear different ideas and different decision making that everybody will have. I want to see what you all have, what you all want to accomplish, what is your goals, what is your strategy. So I am definitely excited. You could hear it in my voice. I'm extremely committed. I'm a hard worker, and I'm just excited. I'm there for the long journey, and I really would like to bring out the best for our students and, of course, the wider society as well.
Thank you very, very much. Very good answer. So, one question, which would probably be the last one, this is mine.
Sure.
When people envision the office of the SACC, a lot of time they just think of fetes and parties. Do you have something different in mind should you be elected?
Oh, of course, certainly. So I would have display in my presentation some of the initiatives I would like to fulfill, which would incorporate some of the festivals, performances of soca and chatting performances, incorporating our carnival culture, incorporating different background of our religion, multicultural nation, all religion, all background, all races. We come together as one, and we would like to incorporate different ideas where everybody within the university, all the students could attend. So I'm definitely interested to see what resources are available to me, and I'm definitely excited to work to make all my initiatives come to life.
Thank you so much. I really, really love that answer. And I genuinely think that it's important to highlight our carnival culture, keep that alive, because we know that for the last couple of years, with the exception of a taste of carnival, that we've really dwindled on, celebrations, and we need to bring back a lot of those traditional aspects that are often forgotten or even learned about in standard 4 social studies. If we have standard 4 social studies, standard 3 social studies, we'll go with that one. A lot of the times it's just that, and now the focus has shifted. So we really do appreciate that. And I see again you have some more supporters in the chat. So
Wow, appreciate
that's
it so
really
much.
good. And
Yes, and and
go ahead.
also I would like to mention that we want to focus on some of the national festivals, incorporating the religious festivals, Diwali, Eid, Christmas celebrations, letting people learn about our diverse culture, bringing about health fair as well, so we could take care of our health. We could check up on our students. Our health is our number one priority. And of course, with the pandemic affecting everything, learning about food production and agriculture is also a great emphasis that we could focus on. And movie night, movie night is everything.
Definitely, definitely. So thank you
Thank you so much.
very much, Sharifa. You were an amazing candidate. Everybody tonight was quite amazing. I was absolutely blown away by the responses that I got, the energy that I got. So I'm really, really excited to see what my third year and this year of the new council brings. So, with that, I must say that sadly the event must come to a close. But just remember that we'd be back tomorrow for the third and final installment, Wednesday 23rd at 7:30 p.m. on the same YouTube channel, on the same Facebook. So please tune in and show your support. It will be just as engaging as yesterday and today. That I can promise you. And before I go, I must plug the FHE scholarships again. So apply, apply, apply. We have a little bit under a month again before applications close. We want to help you. And the money could be used for anything, no strings attached. I must emphasize that. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you for having me. Thank you to all the contestants. I want to wish you, or candidates rather, I want to wish you the best of luck. And may the best candidates win. And I hope that despite anything, we all continue to work together. So thank you very much, and good night, everyone.